Saro resurrects at COP27, 27 years after death. We invested 9 billion naira in Nigerian film industry in 6 years, Netflix. Nigerian Legion honors 109-year-old World War II veteran. Police arrest man over fraud with 10 ATM cards in Adamawa. The memory of the late Nigerian environment activist Saro came alive again on Friday at COP27 in Egypt as all watch groups celebrated him 27 years after his execution. Saro was executed on November 10, 1995 alongside 8 others by the then military government as a result of environment activism over the oil exploration in Ogoni area of the Niger Delta. Nimombasi, an environmental activist and the director of HOMEF, said the spirit of the late activist lived on and the struggle they led continued to inspire the resistance of ecological crimes by extractive companies in Nigeria and around the world. Makuma Lake Lakala of Earth Live on our part said, as the world discusses its deteriorating climate concerns at the ongoing COP27, the need to shift away from the dirty energy has been more urgent. In honor of climate protectors whose lives were brutally cut short, the UNFCCC needs to have a clause on the negotiated climate convention that ensures protection of those upholding the rights of nature, planet, and the people. For Celestine Akpobari, the team leader at People's Advancement Center Nigeria, said the occasion was meant to remind the world that the situation of things in Ogoni was far worse than they were in the days of Saro. He noted that the planned resumption of oil operations in Ogoni land should be altered as it was capable of provoking conflict, saying the group resisted the new scramble for African oil and gas. Okon, the director of Quebec's Kashi Women Development and Resource Center Nigeria, noted that as we remember Saro and other matters today, we plan to carry on with their messages. She stressed the need for polluted areas to be cleaned up and polluters held accountable for their ecological crimes in communities across the world. Global streaming service Netflix on Friday said it had invested 9 billion naira in the Nigerian film industry from year 2016 to 2022. Ms. Shola Soni, the director of public policy for Sub-Saharan Africa Netflix, made this known at the second Nigerian Digital Content Regulation Conference held in Lagos. The two-day event had in attendance stakeholders in the local and international streaming services, independent producers, free-to-air, pay TV operators, telecoms, content creators, and other operators in the film industry. Sony stated that this was done through converting local films titles, capacity building, and infrastructure development in the industry. She noted that Netflix had invested over 200 local licensed titles, co-produced and commissioned original film content. The Netflix official said the streaming service was investing heavily to ensure that all subscribers across the world enjoy the same content as well. We love Nigeria and believe in it, and that is why we are investing in the Nigerian film industry to entertain Nigerians and the world with the best-in-class stories from the country. We are poised to tell stories that are not only interesting in Nigeria, but in other 189 countries where Netflix is present, she said. The Nigerian Legion on Friday in Abuja honored the 109-year-old Nigerian Army veteran Mr. Mile Ture and others who fought the World War I and II for their selfless services to humanity. The national chairman of the Legion, retired Major General Abdul Malik Jibril, said the awardees were being honored because of their role they played during the wars which brought honor to the country. The event, which was organized in collaboration with the Green Heroes Foundation, has the theme Celebrating Our Heroes. According to Jibril, the whole essence of the event is to celebrate Nigerian heroes by bringing them together and reassuring them that we still appreciate their sacrifices through securing the territory. He said the event was organized to honor the nation's retired military heroes, adding that it was a yearly event. According to him, the event is designed to specifically recognize retired officers and men who have distinguished themselves during the conflict which brought honor and privilege to Nigeria. Jibril said it was a common practice that those who represented their countries and defended it gallantly with sorrow, tears, and blood were usually accorded heroes' welcome. He said the veterans would also be showered with accolades and recognition as a way of appreciating their efforts. According to him, these men put their lives on hold while their desires and aspirations were suspended to satisfy the cause of the nation and desires of the citizen. Those honored today are veterans of the Civil War, veterans of ECOMOG, wars both in Liberia and Sierra Leone, the Bakassi veterans, and veterans who participated in the insurgency and are hearts of service. A lot of them made the supreme sacrifice and didn't come back, and some of them have been inflicted with serious injuries that is life-threatening. Thank God some of them are here. We bring them together to assure them that giving their lives for the nation cannot be forgotten. We decided to honor Pa Ture because he has fought the First and Second World War and he is still alive, working with 2 feet, although supported by a stake. He retired in 1978, he said. The operatives of the Adamawa Police Command has apprehended a 33-year-old man, Joseph Nwakibe, for alleged fraudulent activity with 10 ATM cards. SP Sulaiman, the command spokesperson, confirmed this in a statement issued to newsmen on Friday in Yola. He stated that the suspect was arrested on November 8 by the police while on surveillance patrol at First Bank ATM stand along Bank Toad in Yola North local government area. The suspect, Joseph, a native of Unwe, South Anambra State and the resident of Makurdi, Benue State, was said to have been invited to Yola by his friend Obina, now assigned for joint fraudulent activities. Preliminary investigation reveals that they usually queue behind customers to pretend as customers and usually offer to assist anyone they perceive is having difficulties in making transactions. And in the process, take note of the person's ATM number and smartly swap the card with a fake one in their hand. He said that the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Sikiri Akonde, commended the efforts of the operatives and directed that efforts be intensified to arrest the other suspects at large. The police boss advised members of the public to be careful and refuse any assistance from criminal elements while making bank transactions at the ATM spots. He said any person who needs assistance should not seek help from strangers, but rather call on the attention of the bank security men. Here are the headlines again. Saro resurrects at COP27 27 years after death. We invested $9 billion in Nigerian film industry in 6 years. Netflix. Nigerian Legion honors 109-year-old World War II veteran. Police arrest man over fraud with 10 ATM cards in Adamawa. Thank you for always staying tuned with us. I am Odeleke Mofin follower, reporting for Wisdom Yard Online TV.